And today I'm reviewing another console yet again, and I had another video made about this, but it didn't really work that well because I couldn't stable camera. Don't think you even see the fucking thing, but I'm reviewing the Sega Genesis. Yep. Focus, there you go. So, released in 1989. Sega Genesis is probably the most popular console Sega ever made. I mean, there's a few others you could name, like the Dreamcast, Saturn. They weren't as popular as this thing. No. This is not the original. They made the Genesis up till, like, I think late 90s. That game's from 97, but I know they moved on after, like, 96, but this thing was released in 89. And it was probably the only competitor with Nintendo at its time. Well, the big competitor, because you had, like, Atari and whatnot. Like, they were only big in, like, the 70s or early 80s, you know. But, by the way, that's an awesome console still. Love the 2600. But, Sega Genesis is really what started the console war. I mean, there was other consoles before it, but none of them were as a heated battle as Nintendo versus Sega. I mean, hell, their motto was, "We do what Nintendo don't." I mean, that's pretty obvious that who they're trying to compete with. So, yeah. Hope this is not that shaky, but let's look at the console itself. So you've got I don't know what color black it is. It's just black. Yep. But anyways, you can tell the original had writing on the sides of it over here. My dad did not get the original. He got the Sega, the Sonic bundle with the first Sonic game. The original said, like, high-def quality stuff on it. It said something about high-def and whatnot on it. There's different versions. And by the way, there's a transformer that turns into a freaking Sega Genesis. It's Mega Drive Megatron. Look it up. It looks awesome. It's like $100, but it's even licensed by Sega themselves. It turns into a Sega Genesis. Doesn't work, obviously, but it looks really cool. That was off topic, but so we got games in here like Jurassic World, or the second Jurassic World. Yeah, Jurassic World. Jurassic Park, damn it. And if you look closely, you see what resembles a Atari 2600 controller port, which I could show you right now. Hang on. Yeah, you see that? It resembles a lot. I mean, I almost think they used the same exact freaking port, which they probably did. But, I don't know. So, it obviously took cartridges. But, you're thinking, wait, didn't Sega move on with, like, the Saturn and whatnot? Yes, they did. But that wasn't really the first thing they made with CDs. They actually, in the early and every Sega Genesis console has this, by the way. Take the side off where it has a little arrow on here. And it says do not remove. Well, you can remove it, and it's a slot for the Sega CD. Which I never owned, my dad never owned, we never got it. I'm still thinking about buying it. It's like, they're like $50 online, I mean, if you find some. Some are like $400 of the console too, but I think the Genesis went around $200 when I was a kid. When I was a kid, definitely. When it was out, I don't know for sure though. If you can correct me about that, it's around 200, wasn't it? I don't remember. I could probably look it up, but still. So you could put the CD in here, and by the way, they did have two different model CD consoles. They had Model 1 for only the original Genesis, and Model 2, which went to the other 2 or 3 Genesis models they made. Which they made, I think, 3 or 4 Genesis models. I don't know for sure, though. I know they made at least 3. I don't know. I actually really don't know. But I'm eventually probably going to get a Sega CD, but I don't know when. Probably not anytime soon. So, yeah. This console, I would have to say, in my honest opinion, I think it beat Nintendo. Just because you know, this is something new we haven't seen before. Damn it, why don't you go the fuck on? There you go. The Genesis was something new we haven't seen, and it's a newcomer Sega, which wasn't new. It wasn't new, but we didn't know they could make something like this. This is an awesome piece of hardware. It still holds up to today, except when you're on TVs like that, not really, because that TV, it's okay. The quality's a bit weird, but I'm gonna have to use that for my computer or the monitor behind it. I'd rather use HD, so I don't know. But what kind of ports it had? Now, I've seen people online that they've actually modded their Sega where they have like HDMI and whatnot, which is, I would do that, but my dad's like, no, we are not doing that. We don't want to ruin this awesome console. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I don't think the earlier consoles had one of these. I don't know for sure though. It was a I don't remember what that was actually. I don't remember what that's for. My dad told me it was for something. I don't remember what it was, but you got your DC port. I don't remember what that is. Your AV out cord, or RF out. You didn't have AV then. You got your switching channels. You can switch from 3 to 4. Keep in mind, back in the early days of the Sega, they didn't have like their own channel dedicated to gaming, like AV, or they had their own channel for stuff like this. They had like to use actual channels. So with that came this thing. This is a Sega adapter thing. What else connected to this? This is the Atari, but yeah, you connect it to the back of your cable, and you can have room for your TV and the Sega, which is, I think, pretty cool. Yeah, you kind of, I think it came with all of them, but I don't know for sure. I'll just leave you unplugged, Atari. But, obviously, some of the most memorable games for this thing are Sonic 1, Sonic 2, stuff like that, you know? I'm not going to get them out because I don't really feel like it, and they're just a mess to put back up. But we'll get out the controller and talk about it. So, the controller is any basic controller, you know? Hang on. It's any basic controller. It's shaped like a moon, kind of, if you think about it. A very weird moon, but in a way, yeah. Start button A, B, and C, which are called triggers. D-pad, which I really like the D-pad on this thing, by the way. So, in my opinion, I think the Sega beat Nintendo in the early 90s. Just because of the fact that we've seen Nintendo for about maybe 6 or 7 years before this. And they've been owning the gaming market, and then they come out with this thing called Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a freaking blue hedgehog running around the screen. And the graphics, that's far more superior graphics than Mario ever had, but, well, up to at that point. And we were like, holy shit, look at this console, look what it can do. You know, but I don't really know, because I never had an SNES, so I wouldn't really know which one's better. But in my opinion, judging on just what I've seen, I would think this is better. But, you know, I don't know. I wasn't even born then, so why ask me? So, thanks for watching, and bye.